Welcome to the Cocoa Recovery Podcast.
Okay, welcome, welcome. This is the Cocoa Recovery Podcast. We present the conversations of an informal group of friends gathered over coffee to discuss their current experience in recovery. The simple purpose of this podcast is to be helpful by sharing the realities of people living in recovery. The hosts and guests may or may not be practicing members of 12-step programs. The Cocoa Recovery Podcast is not affiliated with any organization, institution, or facility, neither endorses nor opposes any causes or approaches to recovery and rehabilitation. Whatever is expressed in the podcast represents our individual experiences and opinions as of today. Okay, I'm having computer problems, but that's fine. Welcome to the podcast. We are your hosts. My name is Pirate Mike.
I'm Barbie.
Hello there, I'm Carbs. Welcome. Awesome. How are you guys?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah, tired, really. I mean, a little exhausted from the holidays, actually, I have to say.
Yeah.
What
it's
about
like,
you guys? What was your experience?
This was my first sober holiday. I mean, basically it's like what I consider my first
Mm-hmm.
sober
Oh, yeah?
holiday. No, because like I'm pushing 18 months. But then like, the
Woohoo.
first holidays, I was still angry. It wasn't like I didn't have the program there yet.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
there was
I
this,
totally
touch
get
and
you.
go for me, and like I wasn't really paying attention. So there was a lot of how do you say it?
Outing.
Like a lot of resistance on my part to be part of the holidays because I didn't know what to do, basically. But
Yeah.
you know what? Hey man, this time around, it's aside from Manila traffic, it was awesome. What about you
Yeah.
guys?
Well, for me, it was extremely busy. It was like one festivity after another. There was like no time to like pause and think about whether I'm going to have a good Christmas or not. It was just so jam-packed with parties. Like for me, it started with my daughter's birthday on the 21st, and then it was my home group's Christmas party, so that was a sober party, so I didn't have to worry about bringing my own drink or whatever, so that was
Yeah.
really fun. We just played games and stuff like that. And then after that, my sister just arrived from the States, so we had a party for her also. And then my aunt had a Christmas party. And then after that, it was my health food company's Christmas party. And then there was Noche Buena. Then the next day, I had a Christmas Day lunch with my family. And then there was New Year's Eve with my daughter. New Year's Eve lunch. I mean, also before the New Year's Eve, with my daughter. And then the next day, there was also a New Year's Day merienda.
It's a lot.
So it was just a lot. And it doesn't stop there. After that, I had a big family reunion in Tagaytay. And then I finished off the holidays with my sister's despedida party. So when she went back to the States. So yeah, so you can just imagine how exhausted I was the whole entire time. And the only thing I think that was keeping me, I don't know, energized, I had to drink lots and lots of coffee, like a lot of coffee, because I was collecting stickers. I was collecting
Oh,
stickers
yeah.
from Starbucks, right? So I wanted a planner for myself and one for my daughter. So that's like 19 stickers times 2.
Holy
So I was like bouncing off the wall. So I think that's how I survived the holidays, guys.
That's amazing.
Well, I mean, speaking of coffee, we jumped right into the holidays, but like, yeah, so I mean, this podcast that we're doing, I'm really excited that we're doing it because I think that, and you guys launched into it, which is great. There's so much activity that you guys had over the holidays, and there's a misconception that I've seen where people think that just because you're in recovery, it's going to be a bad holiday or it's going to be a miserable holiday. You're going to miss out on all these things, and that's simply not true, right? Like there's so much life to go around. So in terms of coffee, so the title of this podcast, Cold Recovery, is it started out as an inside joke. between, a few of us here in this, it's like three of us. Okay, so it started as an inside joke during one of the recovery conventions that we had recently. And I'm older, and someone was telling us about the slang that people are using now to signify different types of relationships, like kohol, kokol, momol, things like that. And I thought
Yeah.
that would be, we've been thinking about this podcast idea for a while, and I thought, why not? That seemed like the perfect title for it, because it's just, this is what it should be. Whenever two or more are gathered is a meeting, is what they say. And
Yeah.
right now we've got this gathering of friends that are just sharing their experience, strength, and hope, their life experience as they go through this path, and coffee does help.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
basically, kokol
It-
is coffee lang, right?
right.
Exactly.
Amazing.
I like
I,
it. I like that name.
I love that name. I love that name because it's like meetings usually are in coffee shops now. If you
Right.
think about it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
It's a saving grace, and I love how I don't know about, I mean, like in our experience at least, like coffee shops here are pretty welcoming when it comes to us.
Oh yeah. Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of nice, and it's kind of nice that they kind of know that we're gonna be there,
Yeah.
and that they know our
Yeah.
order. It's like,
But I really think that I think they think it's a prayer meeting more than
I honestly think they do because they hear us chanting the
I mean, we say the Lord's Prayer at the
Right.
end
no
of the meeting, or
the serenity prayer.
oh, okay. Like, well, yeah, when we say it all together, that's when we become kind of loud, right? When we
Yeah.
Yeah.
recite the prayers, and that's when people like kind of look, oh, it's a prayer group. You know?
Right, and then we pass around like a little book for the daily reflections, and then they're like, oh look, they're gonna, I don't know.
I mean,
I'm
there are
just
the
saying.
other experiences too. I remember there was the one time in an outdoor cafe, right, where sometimes it's the prayer meeting, and sometimes you get the odd expat who's talking about like shooting up heroin on the plane, and there's like a family of five seated next to him, like horrified. No
It's
shame.
like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I think we have to move to another table.
Or the like listen at your own like risk, but yeah, this isn't exactly family friendly, but
Right. But it's a good
to each-
thing. Actually, last year, my grand sponsor was visiting from the US, and so he attended one of those outdoor coffee meetings. And what he shared about that experience was like, he thought it was welcome because when he got sober, it was meetings in church basements and school auditoriums, things like that. So things that
Yeah.
kind of, like we're hidden, right? So it's
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of
dark,
dark.
it's
Yeah.
shamey.
yeah.
And in this case,
Shamey.
we're we're meeting in the light, and it
Like
stresses
shamey and shady.
it is shamey and shady, but instead we're celebrating it out in the open. And that's really what it is. I mean, the
Yeah.
circumstances that brought us into the rooms, into recovery notwithstanding, I feel like that's a good thing to stress, because what we're really gathering to do is support each other and celebrate life.
Exactly.
It's true. And I like the fact that when we like in some meetings they say this is an open meeting,
Mm.
Mm.
right? As opposed to like I mean my home group is closed. And I was wondering, what does that mean? And then when I think you were the one who like explained it to me. When it says open, like anybody can just come in, even if it's like a family member, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
they can observe, right?
Because-
And then the sharing is reserved, but anybody can
Yeah,
observe
but they
and
can listen
attend.
in
Yeah,
and listen in
Yeah.
and just be like try to understand what's going on, right, with
Right,
their
right.
family members, like that, as opposed to like a closed meeting that's just like, "Ooh, sorry, you can't attend. Are you an alcoholic? I don't know. Are you? No, but
Yeah.
yeah, there. I kind of like that thing where it's not so rigid and strict, because it doesn't make me feel like I've done something so wrong.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get better here, and so when you try to like tell me that oh, what you did was so wrong, we have to hide in the dark because we
Right.
did something so wrong. Jesus, I mean, that's just my opinion, really.
Yeah.
It
There's a lot
it
of
was kind of
shame.
nice. It was kind of nice to kind of see that we can be in a coffee shop and talk about it.
Right.
It doesn't have to be like in a freaking closed off venue or like underground or something like that after dark type of shit. So, I mean, I'm glad that this is out there already because like it really helps a lot of people.
Yeah, it definitely
Right?
does.
And
Yeah.
I just don't I don't mind the whole open thing, but I think a lot of people still do, and that's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay.
To
I think
each his own,
more,
right?
yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but
So
I really appreciated like over the holidays that the meetings continued, that we had marathon meetings
yes,
available, right? Because
yeah,
it's during the holiday season that people have the most difficulty, right?
Yes.
A lot of people in recovery experience the blues, that's the time where you kind of like, of course, you're surrounded by, you have to attend all of these parties. And if you're just new to sobriety, it may be a challenge, watching everyone drink, in front of you. And for me, I was just, like, I this is like my first Christmas in a long time, in 3 years, because in 3 years ago I decided to drink again, which was a mistake, obviously. But yeah, so the past 3 years I've been faking my recovery with my family.
Huh.
So I've been sober during Christmas, like Noche Buena with my family. I'm always sober to show
oh,
respect. But when I go home, I drink.
that's
Right.
I drink. So this was my first Noche Buena with my family that I was completely truthful. I didn't have to lie to anyone. I didn't have to lie to my daughter, myself. I felt so free. Like that's what made this Christmas so special for me. That I could finally it's the freedom of it. Of like, I no longer have to to pretend to be a sober person. I'm really in
sober.
recovery. I'm really a
Right.
sober person. So it was like
Yeah.
I wasn't acting anymore. So I had so much more fun. It's just really nice.
I had like the most fun this Christmas because like I remember when I was actively drinking, my focus was how to drink more and still be in the party.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
wasn't present. And I knew they were playing games and winning money, which I could have like won all of these years, right? But my focus was just like on, okay, how can I sit down, enjoy my drink, and still be social? You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
just continue drinking, but and still like just kind of like be there. But this Christmas though, I was just like, okay, I was like chairing the holiday meetings, right? For Christmas day, no, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I was
That's
doing
right.
that. I did an hour sharing, and I could hear my family outside. They're playing games, right? I was like, God damn. So, I was like, okay, I wanted to go, but then I knew I needed the meeting. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And when I went outside, I was just like, dude, I was playing the games that I didn't know existed, but apparently they've been playing it all these years.
You just don't
I
remember.
just
That's so
didn't.
funny.
I just didn't join. And they were like, where were you last year? I go, I was here. And then like there was this thing though. This is so funny. So I went to a New Year's Eve party, right? And then like everybody there I used to drink and use with, right? Or like, just for that. And then they were playing the games that they've been playing all these years, and I never knew. Because I was already wasted by the time they were playing these games. And like,
Yeah.
okay, so I was at their teams, like, okay, name that tune. And then like all these other, and then come Pictionary. These were my brother started like drawing and stuff. And he's already a little wasted, I could tell. But
Yeah.
I could decipher the drawings. And like my sister-in-law was like, okay, I'm not really good at this. But then like she started drawing and I was like, fixing a broken heart. And like
Oh, that's
like
elaborate. You got that?
and she was drawing a clock, and then she drew number 1, 2, and then 2 to the hour of 1. And I go, 2 become 1. It was a song title.
Oh
And
my
so,
God. I wouldn't have gotten that, like, at all.
That's the
No?
funniest one. This is
Sober
the
or
one
not.
over, right? This is the one that won my team, like
This is
15,000 pesos.
that group, Spice Girls, right? That
Yeah.
song, yeah.
There was this other thing that the grand prize was 15 grand or 10 grand or something like that. Because we've already won like 5,000 from the others. The one that won was like this thing. It was like famous places around the world. My brother did this thing, like he just drew like that, going like that. And I was like, there's only one thing that I can think of when you go like that, right? I go, Niagara Falls! Yes! And I was like, everybody in the room was like, how the fuck did you get that from that? I go like, and then my brother goes like, because we're brother and sister. And I was like,
It's true. No, but it's true. When you're siblings, it's true. It's like one look, you kind of know.
You kind of know.
There's
Yeah.
that connection.
kinda
I have
knew
that
that.
connection with my sister, you know,
Yeah.
like if I just one look at her and I'm like,
you know, everybody around him, nobody could get it. And I was like,
except you.
sober. And because like, if I was drunk, I would have been like, I don't know, like somewhere
Whatever.
over there, something, right? And
So
I
the
got
moral of the story is, stay sober and you can be 15,000 pesos richer over the
Richer.
holidays.
Yes, yes.
exactly.
And you'll
And
be
they've been
more
playing
prepared
these
next
games.
year.
Right? They've been playing these games all these years, and I never
Right.
joined.
And you've
tunnel
never
vision.
won.
Yeah, I have tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
Nothing.
When
Yeah,
you're drinking and
yeah.
using.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't
Yeah.
even eat because I was
That's
like,
true.
I don't want to get full. I'm gonna get full on the alcohol.
Yeah.
Right.
Nothing
Right.
felt
Right?
better
When I
for
get hit.
me than, yeah, drinking on an empty stomach. That's the way to
Exactly.
go. That's the way to
You-
feel it. I like the burn.
Right.
I
That's
know
what
it sounds
pretended to do.
horrible, but that's when I knew I did it right. You know?
That's what I pretended to do. I would get a plate full, and then I like the whole night. That was like just my one plate, and the food was just like sitting there and like slowly eating it. You know, but I never really ate that much because like I was loading up on whatever it was that was there.
Yeah, that was the main
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to go back to something you said though, Barbie, about the Noche Buena and the control. Because this morning, okay, I guess this is gonna hit two birds with one stone. Like this morning we were attending a meeting, right? An online meeting. And circling back to something else that we said, this meeting, it's an hour long, but the hour before that meeting, they have like a dance party. And
That's
which is,
awesome.
again, it's like it's a celebration, right? So people come in and they get to feel lighthearted and they get to dance with like a couple hundred other people that are on Zoom. And then we have a meeting where we talk about this solution that like saved our lives. And so it doesn't have to be that, I mean, it's serious, but it doesn't have to be that dour, right? And then the
Yeah.
speaker today was talking about control. So you mentioned Noche Buena, and I was thinking about that because she said something about how like she didn't really think that she had a problem because she was really able to control her drinking when it was around certain types of people. So, she kind of figured that like if you were a real alcoholic, then you'd be a sloppy mess no matter what, rolling into like day after day drinking. And in addition to the speaker, like I met a lot of people recently who are confused by what they read, even in our literature, because they simply don't have the same kind of like depth of experience, right? There's someone I'm working with now who like she's got about like 18 months, right? And but she still wasn't sure. And it wasn't until like relating stories, giving her a chance to tell her story, where she was like, it's the afternoon, I'm already in hot water at work, and then I'm here drinking anyway, and then just showing everybody that it's fine. Everybody drinks, right? It's fine. I come from a family who drinks, it's fine. And then slowly, the realization of like, okay, just because the rest of your family drinks the way you do, they don't represent what normalcy is in like the real world. You might be surrounded by people who self-medicate, right? And if you're talking about like what normal drinking is, why do we need the prop in order to work, to function?
Exactly.
Not even seeing like the medication that was like around or other additives, that are in the surroundings. And it's like, no, I don't have a problem. I'm okay because I'm not the guy who's blacking out and crashing cars. I'm manageable. And the irony is, I think it's the people who have it the most under control that are actually pretty out of control because they need those fail safes
Exactly.
in order to hide their drinking or using.
Yeah.
That's true. Like to seem normal during the day. Like to make a decision. Oh, let's take a shot.
Right.
Right.
haha, right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
like that's
Okay,
not
you know what?
real.
Like this choice is gonna be so much better if I have a shot, right?
Yes, yes,
Deciding on this is gonna be better if I have a beer first.
yeah,
You know, it's yeah, I get that. I get that. Like you hide your normalcy
yeah.
behind the thing that's not really supposed to help you make that decision.
And the holidays are like the worst because of all the emotions. I remember like you were talking, Carbs, about your first sober holiday. I was thinking about what that was like for me, and I was walking dead. I mean,
Mhm.
I was still like I got sober in January, and so the December before that, I was still trying to figure it out, and I didn't know what to do. Um, People pushed me into all sorts of service just so that I wasn't out there on my own feeling feelings by myself, right?
Mhm.
And that helped. And then the following year, like it just kind of built up over time where it became normal. But the social anxiety, going to like a work holiday party or a social holiday party and twiddling my thumbs, not knowing what to do. Like for me personally, that took years, and
Yeah.
it's not. So it's just like the holidays. I feel like whatever's happening in our lives kind of like informs the mood of the holiday, but I don't need a crutch. Personally,
Yeah.
my holiday was kind of well, kind of sucked emotionally. I was dealing with a bunch of stuff, and there was
I'm
some grief that
sorry to hear
came
that.
up. It was actually
Yeah.
good because it led to some nice it led to some like good solid conversations with the
Yeah.
people close to me and around me where I was like, I really don't feel like making the effort to produce this pageant of
Yeah.
merrymaking and stuff just because it seems to be compulsory. So these
Mm.
are feelings that I'm having. I think it's good if I can sit with them. I don't want to take away from like my family's experience or anything like that, but I can just be.
True.
I
Exactly.
don't need to
True.
hide behind anything. And it's not pleasant, but that's a reward in and of itself, I think.
Exactly. No, I think it also has to do because like not to preach or anything like that. It's like I guess it's also because of the tools we have in this program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm able to step back. I'm able to like, okay, assess. Is this going to be a good interaction? Is this going to be a good social event for me to
Yeah.
attend?
Yeah.
I've like last December, I really turned down a lot because I knew I was like, no, there's no way I'm gonna sit at this table and be like, pretending like I like you people. No. Or like I can stand you people. No, not yet. Not yet, at least. Not yet. I'm not ready. And I'm
Yeah.
able to express that now. It's not like I'm not gonna go there and, like pretend like everything's okay because it's not.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put and another thing is I'm not gonna put another person in a situation where they're gonna feel awkward towards me.
Mm.
Like I know that now, because
Yeah.
I did something. And yeah, it's not good yet. So okay, could be just some space. There's nothing wrong with that, right? And besides, if relationships like, 'cause this is how it is. Like during the holidays, this is where like, all your friends gather, families gather, and all your relationships are just like all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
It's the time to celebrate your togetherness.
Mm,
And if you're not all in for that, then why what the hell are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
If
right.
you're, if you're just gonna go there because like you're just gonna people please, then you might as well go back to drinking. For
Right.
me,
Right.
right?
I mean, we can be all in
Right?
today.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all in today. I was all in all of the Christmas parties I attended. You know,
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna be a good experience because I know now that I could handle the people was gonna be around with.
Exactly.
Right?
I mean, even with me, like I mentioned all the festivities, right? All the parties that I attended, but none of them were in bars. They
Mm,
were all, if you've noticed, at my grandmother's house, my aunt's house,
yeah.
it was my with my home group. So even if there was alcohol, especially when it came with my with when I had to celebrate with my family, I mean, we had a lot of booze, like a lot of booze. But I find myself safer in a house than in a bar, because it's always easier
Mm,
to leave for me. Like, I have my daughter with me. It's a pleasant environment. So I could always say, oh, my daughter has a test tomorrow. We have to leave now. When it gets uncomfortable, when there's just everyone's getting drunk already. So
right.
for me, what helped me a lot was I had to prepare myself emotionally and mentally right before entering a party. And for me, that's praying, praying before for strength
Mm,
and patience. Oh my God,
Oh,
oh my God, like when you're
tolerance.
surrounded by your family, like, oh my God, like 24/7 for like how many Christmas parties? I want to die. Like it's, it's like, I love them, I love my family, but not all of them are, some of them can be really annoying, you know, like, okay, for example, I love my grandmother. I love her so much, but she's very grumpy. She never has anything good to say about anyone. So she saw my sister who gained a little bit of weight. Okay. But right away, that was the first thing she said. She's like, oh my God, you doubled in size. Like that's
wow.
the first thing she said. She didn't even say like, "Hi, Merry Christmas," so
Fuck.
and so. She's just like, "Wow, you doubled in size." And this was so embarrassing for my sister because she had just brought her boyfriend to meet the family for the first time.
Oh,
Her
damn.
nice boyfriend, who's just quiet and everything. And then all of a sudden she looks at the boyfriend and goes, "Hey, you know what? You better tell your girlfriend to lose weight because she's double your size."
Oh
Wow.
no.
And I just was like, oh my God. I didn't know whether I wanted to disappear. I wanted to disappear. I wasn't sure if I wanted to be sober at that moment, but I was like, if I was drunk, I probably wouldn't have heard it. But I'm glad I heard it because I was there for my sister to comfort her,
Nice,
and be like,
yes.
I rubbed her back and be like, oh, that's just
Nice.
Lola. That's just her.
Yeah.
She's just a grumpy old woman. And you know what? Because I told her that, she was able to enjoy the rest of the party. But in my mind, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, can't bring my grandmother anywhere. So, so that happened. And then I also had this realization because I watched everyone drink, but
Mm.
everyone was sipping so slowly. And I'm just looking at them and I'm like, why are they sipping so slowly? Before I never noticed, right? Because I was always drunk, before everyone else, right? So I'm just like,
There.
the more I realize that I have a problem and they don't. They may be getting drunk in front of me and like having bottles and bottles of wine and getting plastered, but they're not alcoholics. They're just
Yeah.
not. They know how to pace. They're not, I left at like 2 a.m. and none of them were drunk. They were tipsy, but none of them were drunk. But imagine if I had started drinking at like 10 when I had arrived, there's no way I would have been able to last that long. I would have been plastered. I
That's
would have
so
been on the
interesting.
floor,
I
More
never
you
thought
definitely.
about
know?
that. I think I just kind of
Yeah.
assumed that everybody was running the same race that I was.
Mm-mm.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
they're not.
No.
No, I was just like,
Here's
why is
me.
everyone so good? How are they able to control it? And I'm just
Right.
like, because they don't have to. They don't have to control it. They don't have
True.
to
It's true.
worry. I
But then, like,
always had
what happened?
anxiety on how I'm going to survive the night.
Well, what happened to me was because I had to go to a rooftop bar for my really this. I have another friend group who's like really supportive of my recovery, right? And so I didn't have a problem. I was so excited to see them because like they're there through thick and thin. This is the group that like I'm really like, this is tight, like cradle to grave type. Not really, like grade 6 to like forever. And then like so they all knew and they were like, oh okay, and they were like, well, what's it like? We're so proud of you. You'll never, you're so great and everything. I was like, oh, thanks guys. And these are the people, that's why I feel comfortable going out because like I know I'm surrounded by people who protect my sobriety along with me. I think that's important.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
like so my best friend, she flew in from Vienna, and then she's like, oh, the head of the like the shots, right? And I go like, oh, I have one. All of them turned no.
They're all like,
They're all like, no, like really, like in the top, and then the rooftop bar, they're like, hell no, nothing for her. And I was like, damn, guys.
chill, simmer down.
Kidding. I was kidding. There is no way that they were like, you will not. And I was just like, oh, thank God I'm surrounded by these people
That's
who are
great.
drinking, but had the time to ask and sit
Yeah.
and make sure that I was okay.
Yeah.
That was
There-
amazing. That was a
yeah.
great party. I went home at like what, 2,
Yeah.
something like that, and I was just like, this is amazing. Like, they took care of me. They made sure I got home safe, and then like we just went out dancing and did bar
Oh,
hopping.
that's fun. That's fun.
There was no pressure,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and they were protecting, and they were asking, "Hey, you good?" And I was like, "You don't have to ask me that, but thank you for your concern."
Yeah.
That's what I need.
And
Right?
I think that's a sign that you kind of like prepared for it because you made sure that you were surrounded by judgmental
Yeah.
people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's how I felt with the holidays. It's like I wanted to be safe. I always wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be pressured by anyone to drink, or so I chose the people whom I was going to hang out with. So that for me is
Yes.
important. It's important to
Yes.
prepare. And I also made sure that I brought like sparkling grape juice with me that my daughter and I could just sip. I brought a lot of coffee because I had to drive home from like Antipolo back to Pasig. So I'm just like, wow. And, I wasn't drunk. I didn't drink, but I felt like I did because I was so exhausted. And I felt like because I didn't sleep until like maybe like 4 o'clock in the morning when I got back home. And I felt like when I woke up the next day, I don't know whether it's age because we're the titos and titas of Manila now. But when I woke up, I was like, do I have an imaginary hangover? I really felt like I had an imaginary because I was just so
Yeah. Oh,
tired. I was just like,
fatigue. Yeah.
yeah, I was just like, oh my God. I was like, what more if I had drank, right?
Oh yeah.
I probably would have felt like I got run by a bus. So I'm just so glad that I don't have to deal with that anymore. I'm so
Yeah.
grateful.
I like the
Hangovers are
stories too
worse.
about like the rooftop bar contrasting with the family event. Like that's something important for me because, I think regular people, let's go like non-alcoholic, non-addicts, they understand the assignment, right? Like I'm gonna go to a family function, there's gonna be alcohol, so it'll be polite drinking. And I'm gonna go to a bar, like tonight I'm gonna get drunk. I listened, there was another podcast that was talking about this, like non-alcoholics, if you pay attention to they will schedule when they go out to get drunk. It's like, this is the appropriate time. We're going to go out on Friday. We're going to go to a bar. We're going to get drunk. And then we're going to wake up Saturday and then everything will be okay. Whereas like, I never made that distinction, right? Good if we were in a bar because then I could hide the sloppiness of my behavior. But I'm just as likely to be falling all over my ass, like in a family function, as I am in any random nightclub,
That's true. That's true.
Like always.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no, yeah, as long as there was drinking, there was always going to be like drinking.
It's on, right?
Yeah.
It's on.
Yeah.
Whether it be like happy hour, and then like they're going to tell you, oh, happy hour is about to like end. And then I end up like, okay, then give me like 2 beers so I get the 2, like it's like buy one, take one, right?
Right.
I want to get the other one half off or something like that. I'd end up like ordering like, okay, so I'm gonna order 2 now, so I got 4. So
Right.
and it's still in for the half off, or the free beer or something like that. I would do that. There's no distinction. It's like I don't care
No, yeah.
where, right? I don't care if it's just the 2 of us.
Yeah.
I'm getting fucked.
Yeah. That's why they say like, you want to get, you go through any lengths, right? You plan
Right.
your day, your holiday around the booze, you go through any lengths. So
Everything.
now it's the opposite. we go through any lengths to make sure that we don't fall back into that, like hamster wheel of insanity.
Right. Yeah.
So now it's like it's planning and but the other way,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And I never thought, like, to be honest, like the food now, like I've never tasted Christmas holiday food like like as good as I have this time around. Because
Yeah,
like
because
half
now
the
it's all about the food.
Right. Right. You're like,
oh, you
did we
know,
always have this? They're like, yes, just like the
and then
games. 40
you're
fucking
just like,
years.
was it always this good? Was the food always this good? Did it taste this good?
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, because like, of course, you're just there, you're drinking your beer or your whatever, and then like your taste buds are just like coated with freaking beer.
Yeah.
And when the food just tastes bleh, right?
Yeah.
And then now
It's an
that it's not,
afterthought. Yeah.
Yeah.
know,
Now it's all about the food, just stuffing yourself.
and
Silly,
it's amazing how you get to appreciate these things that you never thought was important.
Right.
Because for me, what was important was that I was gonna be around people and we're gonna drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
celebration and it's an excuse, a
It's an
very good
excuse.
Oh, very good excuse. Yeah,
excuse.
definitely.
everybody's gonna be drinking, and so you
Right.
can blend in and sort of blend in, and then
But you never really blend in. For
No, you
in
never
my
really
case,
blend
because
in.
I always stood out.
Yeah.
yeah, because I was
Yeah.
always you're sent home.
Yeah.
or like,
And the games, like, in the office party, there's always like that guy, the one who, right? And so I remember, okay, there were a couple times when I was definitely that guy, but then there were other times when, like, I didn't want to be that guy, but somewhere inside there was a game that I was playing where how close can I get to being that guy without actually like being that guy, right? It's another way to like control it. And then at some
Yeah.
point it's like, fuck it. And then I'm that guy all over again.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like you kind of have to scope it out, like in like big parties, and you'd be like, oh look, that one's smashed.
exactly. Yeah. Like
I guess
there was
I guess I
one
can go.
Oh, right, go. Right?
There was this one guy at my company Christmas party like a couple years back, and he was one of the writers of like, because he would deliver food for us, and he got so drunk that he was so touchy-feely with me, his boss. Okay, he was like holding my arm, and I'm like, what is going on? And he's just like, Merry Christmas, Mom, I love you, and he's just like, I'm like, okay, here we go. And then, oh my God, he was so embarrassed the next day. I would be like, if I was like coming on to my
Were you already, you were sober?
oh.
Did you sympathize already? Like,
yeah, I was like
Okay.
really just like, okay, just I'm sure this guy is I don't need to reprimand this guy because I know he's gonna be so embarrassed,
Yeah.
the
Good
next
for
day
you.
when he hears about it from his co-workers, what he was doing to me, like they're like,
Yeah.
oh my God. So
That's
no, he didn't get fired. I've been there. I don't know about kissing some guy's arm. Maybe I had my own thing.
Yeah. It's another episode.
That's another episode. Yes, the Jekyll and Hyde episode.
Oof,
Yeah, that's another good topic.
Oh, we gotta note that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was making a joke, but now actually that's gonna be a good one.
The persona you are when you're there, right?
Yes.
That's a good
Yeah.
like I don't know. No, because like I don't know, I can't distinguish. No, yeah, okay.
You're like,
All
I don't
right.
have a persona. This is just me.
Like
No.
I'm still in denial. No.
Like a lot of like my
So crazy.
friends or like even my daughter, which is kind of sad, they're like, do you remember what you did last night? You did this, you did that. And that's when you get that cringe moment and you're like, ooh.
Oh, you're a
But then,
child.
when your child reminds you like, oh my God, this is what you look like. You were like slurring and you were like, and you're like, no, I don't want to hear it. But most of the time they're like, do you remember what you did, and my common answer is always, no, I wasn't there. That was somebody else. Why
Oh.
don't you talk to that person?
Oh.
Oh,
No, but
Yeah, that was so bad. I was just like, you know what? She's gonna come out soon. Why don't you talk to that person and ask that person?
oh shit.
oh
Because
wait,
I've always,
you're
yeah,
talking
it's
about like hulking
the
out.
my alter ego. Like I wasn't there. Don't ask me. I wasn't there. It was the other person. It was my alter ego. When she comes out soon, why don't you go ask her? Because I don't know what I did. But, you know,
Not scary at all.
talk to the other person. I
That's not
know. That's crazy.
we're like the three of us are like, that's normal, dude. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, they're just like, but they ended up they end up laughing, but then it's not that funny if you really come
You
to
know what?
think
You know
about
what
it.
I remember though? Previous holidays, like when I was actively drinking really bad, it was like because you know how our phones are now so equipped with like video and everybody loves taking selfies and videos and
Oh, carbs. What did we
oh,
do?
oh I was doing push-ups on a rooftop bar and like
Oh my
Yes.
god.
yeah and falling off my face on a rooftop. I mean like it's these things that you know like granted they're like for fun I guess.
Hmm.
But then like when you look back at it it's like what the fuck was I doing? Right?
Yeah.
Like who made me do was I dared? Or did I just like, okay guys, look what I can do?
Oh,
Right?
it's always
Probably that.
you. It's
Yeah.
always you. Yeah. It's like, how low
Look
can you
what I
go?
can
That's my
do.
favorite. How low
Right?
can you go? And
Right?
I go down on the floor and I go, whoop. And I'm just so proud of myself. Like, what an accomplishment.
Just randomly, like you're walking through an
Yeah,
elementary school and you
yeah.
were like, hey, how low can you go?
And then when somebody screams
Maybe,
like
right? Maybe.
no, when somebody screams like in a holiday party, I always get this. Like when I look back at my pictures, I'm just like, why the fuck do I look like that? Everybody's like, hey, picture, everybody's smiling, and you're just like, like, you know, I was just like, why
Why?
was I doing that?
Good.
Why did I
Yeah.
ruin the picture?
But good for you that you crossed over. My shit's like, because it was what, 2006, 2007. So all that is, I saw this meme today on Facebook, right? Like the 90s, so many experiences, lack of evidence. And
Yeah.
I thank God that like
Yeah.
a lot of that stuff. I found one picture actually today where I was high off my ass. And I think it's one of the handful, like literally less than 5 that are still around. So I showed my daughter. I was like, my 9-year-old daughter, right? Because she knows. And I'm like, yeah, so dad was high. And she was like, oh, why do you look like that? Is that what happens? So I'm like, I guess it is.
It is, right? No, I have those printouts. Like me and my friends, we do. Like
What,
in a
the
box.
Polaroids?
No, like
Oh.
no, like film. But you take film and then you have it developed.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Me and my friends have
Titas
it
of
in a
Manila
box
nga.
of it. Like and it was unearthed, and then you could see like just like
Developed
wow.
it.
It's just like God, thank God we didn't have social media back then.
Yes,
Oh
yes,
my God.
that's very true. Because there would have been videos of me like getting carried out of bars, like in
Yes.
Capones. There are stairs, the original
Capones?
Capones.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
There are steep
Love that
stairs.
word.
Imagine like 4 men, like, God knows if they can see my panty, I'm wearing a dress. They're like carrying me out of a bar. It's happened so many times. It's so embarrassing. Seriously. But I'm
Oh
so glad nobody took, back then there was
yeah.
Back then.
yeah, or else it would have
There
been
wasn't
posted all
there were
over
there was
social
no
media.
evidence at all. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, there was. I mean, like if somebody had a digital camera, remember those?
Actually, my cousin still has a video of me, but he's not leaking it. He
I
was
was
just
like,
like tripping out on
Yeah.
me, like interviewing me while I was drunk, and I was just swaying, and then just to like, I don't know, just to like make fun of me video. And he's like, I'm gonna use it to like blackmail you one of these days.
I was gonna say, it rolled off your tongue like he's not leaking it. Like that is the acceptable alternative to that shit is deleted like a long time ago.
Right. It's like there is a
That's true.
chance that can be used as evidence against you. No, I'm just kidding. But then
But
like
maybe that's why people come in, because lately, right? Like we got away with a lot, and
we did.
we
We
sunk pretty
did.
low. And I do find that there are more people who come in that haven't quite sunk that low yet, probably because there's so much evidence. that can
Yeah,
be presented to them. The mirror is right fucking there,
exactly. Literally, actually,
Mm.
because like, it's a phone.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, look what you did. And it's like there's no denying it. And you're just like, oh shit. As opposed to back then, you're just like, no, that's hearsay.
Now it's like,
Weren't there.
really? You're
I
saying?
remember, right? Like you weren't there. I'd remember if you were there, right? I did that so many times. Like, no, you weren't there. Shut up. Like I people.
Or like Barbie's alter ego. Can you imagine if there was like a lot of video footage? Like
Yeah,
this is where
right?
she turns into that one.
Yes.
That's like a
yeah.
horror movie already.
Yeah, exactly. You see the transformation, like does my head turn all the way? Like, I don't know. I don't remember. When does it start? I think it starts on the fourth drink for me, from
Yeah,
what I
you
recall.
have a number? Yeah,
Yeah,
number 4.
I have a number. Parang I'm still not angry on the fourth drink, but I'm getting there. I start getting paranoid. Like there's a switch in the personality, like from
Yeah.
being like fun and just like chill to like all of a sudden conscious and like, feeling paranoid. And yeah, those were, I don't miss her at all. I'm glad she's gone.
Good riddance. Yeah.
Yeah, good riddance. The Kraken, you know.
The Kraken.
The
That sounds
Kraken.
about right, actually. 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that sounds about right. Right, 4 or 5, I get the visual of like the train starting to get going,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
like, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
That's when
yeah,
all decisions are just like, fuck it.
right.
We're here
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Yeah, fuck it, fuck
Right.
you, fuck them. Like, let's
Right.
go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
But
Around-
now that we're sober and we see and hear everything, we experience every single thing. So when somebody in our family starts like arguing with us, about stupid shit, like some of our relatives can be really argumentative just to start an argument. And normally if I was like wasted, I would totally get in there and be like
Right.
fighting with them and stuff. But like this year I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna let this one go. I don't have the energy to like, fight with this person or like, feel like she pulled one over me, because I used to have a lot of resentments, and this time I just can just accept the person, be like, you're an asshole. And that's it. You're an asshole. And I don't have to feel bad about it because it has nothing to do with me. It has
There
nothing
you
to do with me.
Yes. Yeah.
There you go.
So I just quickly like just stand up from the table and just excuse myself, instead of like having this
Engaging.
engaging and such a waste of time. So that's why I found this Christmas season to be so peaceful, because I was able to dodge all those bullets and really and I got to spend a lot of time with my daughter and my nieces and my nephews, which I didn't do. And I got to, when we went to the resort, I really went swimming, like instead of like getting drunk by the pool bar where you don't actually swim. You just dip your
You
foot,
don't.
right? You don't, you wade, you just dip your foot, but you have like a bottle of beer in hand and you're just all over the place. But this time I was like breaststroke, like actual swimming. Like it was
Like,
so nice. It was like
Why is it so shallow?
That is so true. That is so true. Once I see a pool bar, there's no swimming and
There's
going
no
on.
swimming. There's no swimming.
Excuse me?
You're on the lounge chair or you're just
Yeah.
dipping your toes, and be like, oh, it's too cold. Fuck it. I'm not.
Going on here. It's like I'm in the pool, but my hair's not wet.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. It's just like you're wearing a costume, like your
Right.
swimsuit, but you're not really swimming. You're just there to drink.
Oh, that's such a
You
good
know.
metaphor. The costume that we wear when we're still drinking.
Yeah.
It's like everything.
It is.
Dang.
It is.
Oh my god, that's amazing. Oh my god, I remember. Yeah, there's no swimming in a pool bar. What are you kidding? No.
I'm surprised there isn't more drowning, but
I know.
Exactly. Right? No, because like, you know
Yeah.
those bars that are inside the pool?
Oh, I love those.
yeah.
I would walk to one and then like stay there.
Yeah, and not move. You're just there. You're just there.
And everybody else has it's soaking wet, and I still have dry hair there. It's like, what's up?
Yeah, I
It's
was
so
just
much-
like, yeah,
It's so much better now.
super.
It really is.
Super. Imagine not being hungover after Noche Buena, not being hungover on January 1st. That really sets
True.
the tone for the entire year, for me anyway.
Yeah.
You know, waking up refreshed, doing yoga, you know, first thing in the morning at a family reunion, you know, and then praying, you know, that's how so
Yeah.
opposite of what we used to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing.
Well, we
It's
made it
true
through the
that-
holidays.
Yeah. We passed it with flying colors. I have to say, congratulate everyone here for doing
congratulate.
such a great job.
Pat on the back, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
Right.
really,
I gave my
really.
pat on the back. Like, you did it, despite like everything. You know, like uncontrol, like the things that we couldn't control at all.
Yes.
Gosh, right? And the fact that I didn't lose my shit,
Yeah.
I thought that I would. That was amazing. You know, like, and the fact that I don't know, I just remember, like, oh, like, yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, I remember that, and I
Mm.
remember this. I remember that. I remember everything with my kids. I made memories.
Brand
made
new
memories.
memories.
Brand new memories. Yeah.
We actually made memories, and it's there. It's not just like blimps, like, oh, did we do that? I don't know.
Yeah. It's not flashbacks. There's the difference between
flashback.
memories and flashbacks, right?
Like, or like those, you know, like you're thinking like, did that happen, or was that a dream? Right?
Yeah.
Like I sometimes I would think about that. Like, did that really happen? And then I feel so ashamed to have to ask. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And then you have cringe moments when you do actually remember and you're like, oh, I said
God.
that. Eee. Now
oh,
it's like, no, you remember everything. You're proud of everything that you did, you know?
and this and like last night, I remember what they said. The
Yeah.
cringe things that people said. And I'm just,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah, now you're the database.
Yeah, and they had no excuse because they weren't alcoholics. They're not alcoholics. Yeah, my daughter always says that, like about other people. Oh, she's so like this. She's not, and she's not even drinking. You know, my daughter says that because of me. Like, it's so bad. But she's like, how can you be like that? But you're not even drinking, but they're
That's
awful.
your comparison.
right.
My poor daughter.
Damn it, you don't. But yeah, I had that was great. I mean, more to come.
And I
More
think
to
it will
come.
only get better and better. I believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it in my heart.
I
This
think
is just
I
the
think I can
beginning.
plan a Christmas party this time. No, I'm
Oh,
kidding.
whoa,
Are
whoa,
you
whoa.
sure?
This is
Oh,
on record. What are you
good.
doing?
Are you
This is on
inviting
record,
us?
guys? I think
know,
I'm
right?
ready to plan a shindig for this up for this year's holidays. Let's see
Yeah.
how that turns out. You know, let's see.
Yeah, you
Let's-
just
we'll
moved
see.
into a new place, right? So let's go.
Well, yeah, I did, but then like
And where is that again for the listeners?
for
Yeah.
your admirers.
Right. You
Oh,
can reach
God.
Carbs at-
that's another episode. That we'll save that for the next one. Like
Yeah, we can save that for the Valentine's
the
episode.
Valentine's Day
It is-
episode.
the dating episode.
Thank you. I was wondering how we were gonna segue into it. You guys
Yeah,
made it perfect.
yeah.
Exactly. That's another thing that we
Yeah,
oh
it should
my
be fun.
So
dating.
happy 2024. We made it.
Yes.
Start of
We
the new
made
year.
it.
Start of this project.
I
and
know,
time flies when
right?
you're having fun.
I know. Look, we like went overtime, but that's okay. This is the
It's
first
fine.
episode and we did great.
Yeah.
Mhm.
More to come, guys.
More
I
to come.
know.
We'll see you all again.
Yeah.
Cheers. Awesome.
I'm,
Bye.
I'm going to stop recording in 3, 2, 1.
This has been an episode of the Coco Recovery Podcast. If you would like to get in touch with our hosts or guests, please email us at cocorecoverypodcast@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.